Welcome back to NBA Cinema, guys. So we have some interesting developments in the NBA as Paul George has elected to step away from his podcast while the Philadelphia 76ers plan an underwhelming season, try to get on track. And it looks like more of the brunt of the responsibility is going to fall on Paul George. You consider, I believe, what is his contract? $212 million, somewhere around that ballpark, alongside Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid, is talks of him being shut down for the rest of the season, and we saw him take that massive fall on a closeout three. Don't know why he ran out there jumping like that, but also why he was even allowed to play in the Olympics for Team USA this summer and then come back and be hurt during the season. Now he's going to have a procedure done to his knee, and we don't even know what the future holds for Joel Embiid. And Paul George is locked in for the next 3 to 4 seasons with the team, so they're expecting high production out of him, but they've got off to a slow start. We're going to get into Paul George's announcement. But not only that, Kendrick Perkins is calling out a certain New York Knicks duo who has a podcast, and we're going to get into that too. Let's check it out.
Fellas, it's no secret this season is up to this point, man, it hasn't been what we envisioned. I know my goal when I first signed with Philadelphia was to bring a championship to these amazing fans here. I still remain positive about that, and that is still the case and where I'm coming from. With that being said, though, I want to let the Podcast P family know that after today's episode with Dwight, I plan to take a break from the pod just to focus on getting my body right, getting mentally right, and, help this squad make a push towards our goal to finish the season out, give ourselves a chance to be in contentions to compete for a championship. I won't front. The desire to get back to shooting in person with my guys as well is the forefront of, this hiatus as well. I look forward to us three being back together and doing this as we once started this. So we'll be back on that note. Be sure to lock in with us because we got some big things in store in our future. In the meantime, y'all be easy. From Podcast P, love and peace.
Paul George is not the only person that should be taking a break from podcasting during the basketball season. I feel like Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart as well need to take a break because if you're trying to go out there and honestly compete for an NBA championship, that should be your only goal. Anything else outside of that is a distraction, right? I wish I would have walked in the 2008 locker room talking about our podcasting through the season or anybody else. It would have been smoke and furniture moving around there. So, again, guys need to keep the main thing the main thing. And when you have an opportunity to win a championship, keep the main thing the main thing. Everything else can wait.
Okay, are you guys?
I have to absolutely agree with Kendrick Perkins on this. Keep the main thing the main thing. Shout out to Paul George for doing that, but they're going to need some results, buddy, because your contract is one thing to say what you're going to do, but they need to see you actually do it at this point because you're getting paid the way you're getting paid. And also, they're expected to be without Joel Embiid for the foreseeable future. As far as Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart go, I remember Josh Hart telling the fans to calm down, stay on that side after the Boston game, after the first one, but then came the second Boston game in the Garden, completely destroyed. And then you lose a third game to Boston. Okay, you have a big lead in Oklahoma City. You guys don't close that game out. And, the OKC Thunder, come into the Garden and just kind of handle you that second game. Okay, you lose to them twice. So you're 0-7 against, Cleveland, Boston. You got them losses against OKC. And you're like 0-7 against top teams you actually have to play, to get where you're trying to get. And bringing in Cat, I always felt weird about that move. I'm like, why don't you keep Isaiah Hartenstein and then make the move to bring in Cat, let Cat play the 4 because Mitchell Robinson's health is not a thing you can rely on. He still isn't back. So why try to make all these concessions to go get Bridges instead of trying to keep Isaiah Hartenstein? You could have got another scorer. I was always one of the people that thought they should have went in and tried to get Norman Powell. And if you go back to my older videos, I've said that often. I thought they could have got Norman Powell and even Terrence Mann probably could have got both of them and had like Terrence Mann coming off the bench, fill out your bench some with a tough defending athletic wing And Norman Powell, we see what he can do on the offensive end of the court. You cannot expect Karl Anthony Towns to be your presence on the defensive end. That was always my concern. That's why they brought in Rudy Gobert, and the team was able to excel at that point because Gobert was the five man. He was the presence down low, per se, and Cat was able to score, good help side defender, even can get you blocks at the four spot. But being tough down low, even though Gobert isn't tough, he's better at being a presence in the paint, just being 7'2" than Cat is. And so I thought Cat was always best served to play the four, but they want to go with him at the five. And when you're hitting on all cylinders offensively, that's going to look very good. But when you have to win the way we fell in love with the Knicks last year in a grinded out type situation, I think you're going to run into some trouble because that's not their game. This is a finesse team. We went from being a grit team with Dante DiVincenzo, even Julius Randle, those guys last year, or Isaiah Hartenstein, to now they're a finesse team. And so if they don't win cute, they can't win the ugly games. I think about, that controversial ending to that Philadelphia 76ers game. That controversial end was a way that they can't win now. They wouldn't even be in that situation, to have that controversy at the end because the players don't get after it like that. Those second chance opportunities that Isaiah Hartenstein was able to provide is not there no more. And now you let that fall right into OKC's lap and you're struggling with OKC. That's wild. They didn't even try to go out. And even if you let him go, I was a guy who said, go get Jalen Duran if you possibly can. Go get one of those young. You need a big presence down low. A guy that's a presence. Not just, a guy who can outscore the other big. But you need somebody who can block shots, rebound. Saw Cat looked against Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford last year. So a certain type of big even makes him struggle on offense. So when you have Cat struggling on the offensive end of the floor, you're not getting the same production you would get from like an Isaiah Hartenstein. That's what I'm saying, all in all. And I do think Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart should take a step back from podcasting right now because the Knicks, this is their window. Like, the next 3 or 4 seasons, that's your window. And you're going to have to make some moves. You can't just roll if they have an underwhelming season and don't get far in the postseason this year, then you're going to have to make some changes this offseason. I don't like the way Thibs doesn't play Ariel Huckporty. I think they could be better if Huckporty was developed better. I think they would absolutely be better. I think Kolek, some of those other guys can actually play on that bench. I don't think Thibs is a good manager of minutes and a good manager of a roster. But that's just me, guys. I want to know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.